Oh, I never get tired of seeing that wonderful title sequence, don't you? It's amazing. We built this together. That's quite an accomplishment, I have to say. Very cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for dropping by this spontaneous session of 3D Shenanigans. Hello, Christina, Rod, Captain Slaymore, Joe, and if I forget, Gorma, of course. Thank you so much for dropping by. Very nice. And yes, I did get your Discord. Thank you so much, Captain Slaymore. That was very nice. That was really good work. Captain Slaymore did a lovely animation inspired by my Super Survivor post of the title sequences that I showed you yesterday. And he went to work and had a bit of a fiddle, and it was a wonderful little turnout there. Let me see if I can I bring it up? Can I bring it up? Let me see if I can do it. And actually, if you could just drop a link to that animation in the chat, Captain, that'd be awesome. Either on Mixer or on YouTube. Mixer might work better, and we can all have a look at it. I really liked it, and I'm in the process of redesigning that website, so maybe that little snippet might come in handy. It never really had a branding, and just to give you a bit of a history on that site, after I had written the book, I thought I need a website to promote it and to put all my kind of cancer-related endeavors into one place, and supersurvivor.tv is indeed that site. And I've been busy with other projects, but the idea was that I was going to have a separate YouTube channel for it and then put all these cancer talks that I keep filming into one dedicated place. Not that I don't want them on my main channel or anything, but it's just I think audiences do get confused when you do a bit of a hardware review and then some 3D here and then you play a video game and there's also some cancer stuff. It's kind of, a little bit diffuse. I like to channel it into as the name suggests, proper channels. So there we go. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. So that's why I built the website, and it was put together in a bit of a rush. And now that the Oncology Symposium happened in April this year, it's also going to happen next year in April. There's more demand for a place like that, and my oncologist nurse practitioner doesn't have a website for it. It's all kind of done under the Mount Sinai umbrella, but we'd like to just create a little insular project. And I suggested, why don't we create a website for it, like Oncology Symposium something? But we're still thinking, shall we not do that? She said, why don't we just do it on your website? And I'm thinking, absolutely. Then that gives that website more of a purpose. And so hence I've started, and that's why I was running a little bit late. Sorry about the big lead up here. But that's what I did today and yesterday. I'm editing these videos that I have into shorter snippets so that I have a channel full of cancer talks, really, and new discoveries in cancer. It's very fascinating. Always fascinates me listening to that. And today I've edited a presentation Dr. Kuznik gave earlier this year, I believe in May, and Julia and I were there. We taped it, and look at that, it's December and it's not live yet. It's crazy. So I'm determined to make all this happen before the year is out. There we go. So let's get on with some 3D stuff. So yeah, sorry, and then thank you then for the little animation, because I'm still in the process of rejigging that website a little bit. It's currently running on the Elegant Themes framework called Divi, and I'd like to change that and perhaps use one of the native kind of WordPress themes as something along the lines of the latest 2020 theme, and use some of the blocks and just make it more faster. Really, that's the plan. So let's see. Webcam is working. That's good. Here's my desktop. Let's go and open a bit of Blender 2.81a. Let's do that. And see where we left it off yesterday. Cracked 23, I think that is the file I'm going to open. I haven't had a look at it ever since I saved it yesterday. So let's see if everything is still in the same place. We had a lot of fun putting boulders into place. I can see them in the same place already. That's good. I had a bit of trouble with my webcam there earlier, so I'm glad it's working now. Wrong computer that the keyboard is attached to. So we left this off yesterday here with these hopefully now in the correct position blocks that we're going to go and make fall at the very end of our animation. They're going to fall all over this logo. I don't know how this is going to look. They're probably not going to be enough just yet, so we're going to make those a few more. But first of all, our job is to turn them into separate objects, like I did yesterday about 20 times. So that's at least what it feels like. Brian, nice to see you. Very good to see you. So I guess without further ado, let's apply those modifiers. That's how it works, right? Let me just go wrap my head around this again. We apply the modifier, then we split these things into individual pieces. Then we make sure the center point is set to the individual objects, and then we move on. And we do that for every of our falling bits and bobs. Then they're all individual, and then we'll see what the physics are gonna do there. Let's see if we can make it happen. Yes, Joe, I'm glad I'm doing good as well. I have a CT scan, I believe, later this week, next week, Tuesday. Julia says it's Tuesday. I've got my own contrast solution for that. Usually they give me vanilla, and vanilla is like the yuck flavor. So, yeah, not good. So, modifiers applied. Let's go into edit mode, select everything. P, separate by selection. That makes that happen. We go out of edit mode. Now that means all these things are selected, are they? I don't know, I'm only seeing 2 of them that are selected here. Is that correct? Why is there not more? I can see 4. Oh, this is making me weird. Okay, let's go and right click these things and say set origin to center of mass surface. That's it, is it? Good. And now let's go and see if we can see. No, it didn't actually work. They didn't separate themselves. How weird was that? Okay, so edit mode, select all of them. P by loose parts, not selection. Ah, there we go. My fault, of course. Thank you, Blender. Now we have 4 objects. Now they're all separate. Now I'm going to go right click and set origin to center of mass. There we go. And that, no, didn't do that either. What a shame. Origin, was it volume? Let's try volume. Why does this menu not go away here? I didn't see this last time. How interesting. Maybe I should watch yesterday's video again where I did this 20 times and now I can't remember how to do it. That's crazy. Or has it happened properly? No, it has happened, isn't it? No, what we rotate is not at all what I'm trying to do here. Let's go take this thing away. It looks like, let me just go take that rotate thing away. Origin is correct. Okay, good. My goodness. Okay. I think we should all have a Julia clone. Actually, I'm going to keep the original. People demand clones of you, so it's... So, oh yeah, would you like the clone with the frozen shoulder or without the frozen shoulder? Do you know, that'd be good, Captain. Let's have a clone of everyone. Just a stowaway copy, like a backup copy. In case anything happens, you go to the backup copy and say, sure, let's go and put one working part together. Okay, let me see if I can make this happen once again. We apply the modifier. Boom, very good. Then we go into edit mode, select everything, hit P by loose parts, go out of edit mode. Now we go and right click this thing, set origin to center of mass. And I guess we just ignore this thing that's down there, perhaps. it is all the way we want it. Perfect. So next guy, apply, edit mode, AP loose parts, out of edit mode, right click, center of origin, do this thing. Great. Next thing like this. Oh, we currently have something really exciting I need to tell you. We currently have Art Basel in town. It's a big art exhibition that happens every year in Miami Beach. And this is the year, this is the time, this is the beginning of December. It always happens beginning of December. It happens once in Basel, happens once here in Miami Beach. And so the whole art world from all over the world is coming to visit, and it's all celebrating themselves. So this morning, breaking news: an artist has sold a piece of artwork for $120,000. $120,000, an unbelievable amount of money. Guess what it was? It was a banana taped to the wall with a piece of silver duct tape. That was the art, and it sold, surprisingly, for $120,000. Unbelievable. And because it was, I guess, fairly easy to make, the dude goes ahead and makes another one. That sold. The second thing, same thing, banana taped to the wall with silver duct tape. Sold the same thing again, $140,000. We're in the wrong line of business, clearly. This is the same dude who made a solid gold toilet bowl that's worth $6 million, and that got stolen. It's kind of, no longer, available. Just thought I'd put it out there. Just thought, I'd let you know about this in case the thing turns up. In case if you have it in your bathroom, that's also very possible. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. Let's go set the origin of that to that. And that does that. That's perfect. Unbelievable. Stories like that absolutely fascinate me. How does that fetch that kind of price? I suppose you just got to be bold enough to put a price tag on something like that, on an idea like that. P by loose parts. Get out of edit mode and set that to that. And then that is, I guess, that. And that is, I believe, all of that. No, there's two more. Once here. Apply. AP, come out of it. Right click. Once you get into the groove, it's actually quite relaxing to do this 50,000 times. Apply the modifier. And do that. And then we do that. And that is all the falling rocks now, I guess. Do you know also what happens when the banana inevitably in 3 days turns into this black piece of yucky mush? What do you do then? Do you have a kind of a license agreement that you go around the person who you sold it to and then you replace the banana, or is it do-it-yourself instructions? It has to be original. So apparently the artist gave the buyer a certificate of authenticity, which you have to have, of course. Maybe in its ever-changing rod, that could be, ever-changing art. Unbelievable. Yes, quite crazy the things that go on, I tell you. I'm going to have a quick look if all these rocks, my rocks, available for $120,000 each, by the way. I wonder if it was some kind of a scam going on, if it was something where they got together and say, hey, I've got this ridiculous idea. If you agree to buy it, we'll both be in the media or something. I don't know, because the big thing about this, and then I taped a second banana to the wall and it also sold, you know, that part of the whole story. That's bizarre because a true artist wouldn't really do that. You know, a true artist would arrive at a piece of art that then maybe wins a prize and makes a lot of money. But if it was that easy to go, oh, I'll just do this 20 more times and then I don't have to work anymore, that's not really usually the motivation of an artist. He wants to go and do something else and something like a variation of a theme. He wouldn't just go and recreate the same thing that makes a lot of cash, because that's not really, as I understand it, like an artist's motivation. That's not art, exactly, Christina. That's more like a factory. Ay caramba, unbelievable. Well, I'm going to switch the materials off here. See if we can see these guys fall. So first of all, do they have? None of them have rigid body bits and bobs attached to it. So let me just go and do that. Rigid body. Oh yes, that was who was that? That was Banksy. Banksy did that. He and that's also been debunked as a fraud, I believe, by Dave Jones on the EEV blog. He was looking into this. How did this guy put the shredding mechanism into a painting that was about 5 or 6 years old, or 10 years old, or whatever? And I think the artist Banksy offered to reframe it before it went up for auction, and that's how he got a hold of the painting, and we believe that's when he put the shredding mechanism in there. And it looks like it's fake because it's no battery survives 10 years of a charge, and does this as soon as the hammer drops in the oil. That was all a little bit weird. I'm just going to arbitrarily pick one of these things, maybe the first one in the list, so I know which one to pick last. As soon as I attach rigid body physics here. I forgot what we said yesterday. Was it convex hull that does the trick here? I believe so. Also now we actually have this little gap between the landscapes here. I didn't actually see that before. But we may end up in a situation where the rocks will end up on the background landscape. So let me just go and tweak that a little bit so that these guys are on the same height. That's the origin for that part, really. It seems odd. What's the side view here? Is this the side view? It must be the side view. So, whoops, GZ, and now I'm going to go lift this to here. Whoops. Yes, that is the plan, Captain. That is the plan. The previous, so I've got two types of landscapes here. This is the first one. This has got the scattered rocks on it, and I've given that passive value. So the way the rigid body physics work is that you have to declare two parts in the animation. So one is, of course, our falling rocks, and then the other part is what they want to collide with. So this part here, this landscape, that already has the rigid body passive type associated with it. And these rocks here now, they may end up falling onto the background. So I'm also need to have these guys, these landscapes here, participate in the rigid body physics, but not actively, just passively. So passive means this isn't going to animate when I press the animation button. Only the things that are set to active will be animated. And because I have so many loose parts here now, this guy is the first thing that has the physics applied, and these guys here do not. So I'm gonna just have a quick look how this guy tumbles, and if I don't set the logo to have collision, I believe they will just fall through the logo. just to see what happens. So this is only going to simulate this one guy here and not the other ones. Boom, there we go. Yeah, look at that. He goes right through the logo. So the logo also needs to have, needs to participate in the physics animation. So let's make that happen and go rigid body, type passive. If this were active, the logo is probably going to fall over. Yeah, let's just make that happen. I'm just, just out of interest, curiosity, see what happens. Yeah, there we go. Logo starts to wobble. It's also not what we want. Just thought I'd show that. So the moment this guy is set to passive, the rock should collide with the sign. Didn't even drop on the sign. But that's good. Some of the other friends will do that. Hey, and there's the rover. So the rocks will fall after the rover has passed. So we don't need to worry about the rover going over the rocks for now. This is I'm going to turn this into keyframes once everything is simulated, and then I'll just move the keyframes to the point at which I like to see these guys fall. It's very cool. It's some of the most complex things are really easy to do in Blender, and vice versa. Some of the most simple things are nearly impossible to achieve in Blender, or they're so complicated and unintuitive that it's, I guess that's why we like playing with Blender. So like I can copy the physics effect to all the other boulders now by selecting everything except for the thing that has physics on it. So from here to there, and I'll select the guy with physics last, either here or in the scene tab, doesn't matter, with control. So see, that wasn't good. Let's go and do that again. I guess it has to happen with shift rather than control. No problem. Doesn't like it, does it? It's very interesting. Let's go select this one and then this one last. Is that the one that was selected last? I see, I can't quite tell that now. This is one of those simple things that should really work extremely simple, but that can't really get my hand around. So control click this guy. That should now leave everything selected and just add this guy to the selection, right? But it doesn't really do that. That's a shame. Maybe it's just the order in which I select them. So shift that and maybe hold shift down, select this guy last, and now it works. You'd imagine there's a kind of a visual indication like there was a minute ago. This guy should be yellow so that I know which object I'm copying things from, but no, that's, what a shame. So in order to copy the physics on all of these guys, I think I go to Object, Rigid Body. No, that's not how it works. What a shame. Copy from active is the option I'm looking for. I think the selection isn't correct here. I don't think the selection has worked properly. So the first guy in the list is the guy that has the physics applied. That's the guy from which I'd like to copy everything. So the pattern is you select everything, select this guy last, and then this option comes up here. But it looks like, let me just go and try a few of them. Select these, and then I select that guy. And so this just messes up the selection. This is crazy. Okay, I'll try this one more time. Blender is very particular in regards to the last one being selected. So like this one is the one guy that needs to be selected next. And you'd imagine this works with just, either shift. Yeah, there we go. I've done it. Perfect. So, okay, cool. So it has to be shift. Shift does this. So this now has a different color. Oh my God. It's over my head as well, by the way. And my brain hurts too, Rod. Let's try this. Object, rigid body. Now this thing is a copy from active. Active being the yellow guy, and Has it worked? I can't tell. Should the menu dismiss itself? Is it still working on it? Oh, okay, great. It's worked. It's just a scary delay there. Huh. Joe, neither do we. We just make it up as we go along. Rod's been doing it for 10 years. It's crazy. Somehow something always comes out at the other end. Oh, Christina, it was just about the, selecting the last active thing. That was interesting. We managed to do it. So that's good. All my separate objects should now have that physics thing applied. And if I go and press the spacebar, we should now see a physics simulation with all those rocks. Look at that. Perfect. All right. It's kind of what I want. Lots of rocks. Not enough rocks, in my opinion. So I think I'm going to go and select all these rocks and just duplicate them once or twice further up above, so that we have just rocks and rocks and rocks just kind of raining down on the logo. Yeah, thank you for the rock, Brian. Very nice. And also we're going to save, of course. Save as cracked 24. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice of you. So that should be easy by just selecting them all from that ever-growing list here. And they all have the physics applied. Shift D, do that. I can literally just go and say, I believe, Z, and then that happens. That's kind of good. That's what I want. I'm going to put them here. So just further up there. So straight up with the Z axis. I'll do the same thing again. Shift D and hit Z to make these things go further up. Notice how the cursor goes, like loops around the interface. That's kind of nice. I like that. So there we go. And perhaps because we're nuts, let's go one more. So Shift D, hit Z and go put these guys up somehow there. Cool. Let's see if this works, shall we? Can I select the logo? Yes, there we go. That's cool. Are you ready for this? Poor logo, yeah. Okay, are we ready for this? Are we all sitting comfortably? Deep breath and there we go. Rocks, more rocks, rocks. Lots of rocks. And then the rover comes. Well, we're going to change that around. Let's watch it again. It's almost like the rocks that come from higher up above, they fall faster because they fell for longer. So the acceleration is just much faster there. I like the speed at which the first rocks fall, but then, there's kind of a lot of rocks falling much faster. But I think we can leave it like that. I don't think it's actually that bad. I mean, if I really wanted to go to town with this, I would probably change the weight of the other rocks, make them lighter, so therefore they fall slightly slower. But I think we're all right with this. I mean, it's space, man. Things are violent up there. Rocks, more rocks, and more rocks. Okay. There is, but I'd have to change it for so many of these rocks. So I could literally do that. I could maybe on the last selection here. I could do that. I could also use maybe the first two blocks are okay. I could select all of these and then just go and change the velocity I believe that's, or mass. I'd probably just change the mass into something like half the weight, or maybe make some of these rocks lighter. Apply the new value. I could do that. Let's, shall we do that? It'll be interesting to select all these rocks properly. But hey, with yeah, let's try. Let's try. Because it's the trouble is this thing about the selecting the last guy on which you made the change. You know, that's the kind of weirdness there. Alt command does things to many objects. Okay, so if I just select all these guys, maybe with border select, like all these guys, and then what did you say? Now I go alt apply the new value. Is that what we do? So like give these guys, maybe I'll make him 250 grams. So press alt and then enter. Is that how I'm supposed to do it? Is it even necessary? Because all of them are selected already and it lets me change a value. What do you think? Let me try. Let me try with regular enter first, and then with alt enter. Notice how Blender, by the way, translates 250 grams into kilograms, so that Blender is very aware of these things. So if I go and click this guy now, he still has a kilogram, and this guy has that. Okay, cool. So when you say alt select, let me go and grab all of these guys again. When you say alt and set the new value, I'm not entirely sure how what to press. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I could try this other thing again with object rigid body copy from active. I could try that because the active one is the last one in the selection. Let's see if we select this guy. Yeah, that seems to have done the trick. So these guys are now lighter. Oh, I see. Oh, good. Okay. Let's try that on the next group up above, Christina. That's good. On this guy here. Okay, so I'm going to go and border select all of these. In fact, deselect everything, then border select all of it. Otherwise, the border selection is being added to something else, which would be trouble. And now you say, I'm holding Alt, then I'm typing in the new value, which is this now. Is this already 0.2? Let me just type. Do I press hold Alt while I type that? I'm putting this so 0.3. Still holding down Alt, and then I'm pressing Enter. Just see what happens. This guy's got it. This guy's got it. Yeah, my goodness. Marcos is a genius. He is literally the man. So hold down Alt while you're doing all this, and then finish with the Enter key while all the while pressing Alt, and then you're done. Well, okay. So they all seem to have 0.3 now. That's nice. Let's see what the other ones have. They shouldn't have changed here, just out of curiosity. No, they're still 0.25. And then just also, these guys haven't changed. They're still 1 kilograms. Okay, 1 kilogram rather, which is just over 2 pounds. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Okay. Captain, my goodness, bunny rabbit. Oh, it's a goat. Very nice, very nice. Look at him chew. Very nice. All right, come on, let's do this thing. First the goat, now the animation. Are you ready for this? Rocks, more rocks. Lighter rocks don't seem to make a difference. They spin around a little bit more on the floor, but they didn't seem to make a difference in regards to the falling speed. So like you say, maybe it's not the mass, it's the velocity that we could have changed, I guess. But still, I mean, not bad. We're going to see the logo kind of from the front here. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Some of these rocks Do they disappear? Yeah, look at that. They seem to disappear through the back of the landscape. Now we need to make sure that doesn't happen. I thought I did make that happen. So this is selected and it has the passive type on here. I don't know why that isn't participating in the simulation. Because if I make it active, then this thing will just fall. So that's not what we want. Even though it is fun, it's not what I want. Come back here, landscape. So this has to be passive. Yeah, but these rocks seem to... Jay! Jay, from one Jay to another. Good to see you. That is interesting, isn't it? What's the difference between this landscape and that landscape then? This has mesh deform. Oh, okay, yes, that might be the difference. Let's go put this to mesh deform and see if that works. Did that do the trick? No, it's being ignored. Very interesting. Why, I wonder? Before I make too many changes, I'm going to go and save this thing, of course. Cracked 25. And investigate that a little bit further. Could it be that these things are in a different collection? Could that be the problem? No, can't be, because my first falling blocks were in their own collection and the background was in this collection, wasn't it? Yeah, landscape. This is landscape front, actually. Let me go on landscape front. And this one is landscape background. Landscape background. Do we have, look at that. We have a few array modifiers applied here, or rather in situ. They're not applied. Maybe that is the problem. Could that be the problem? That the physics don't work on the clones that the array modifier creates. What did we do here? Did we apply that on the front landscape? Yes, I guess we applied the array modifier. Okay, that could be something. See if we can do that. Apply this array modifier. And then apply that array modifier. Making this a huge landscape thing. And now these things are all set to passive. Now let's see if we can zoom in on our logo and see if them rocks. There we go. Tons of rocks not falling through that landscape anymore. Whew. If my brain wasn't hurting before, it certainly is hurting now. Lots of rocks. I still think they're falling a little bit too fast. They're the two groups up above. Maybe let's see if we can tweak something there. So it's this group and that group. We've already made them lighter. This group. Oh no, there we go. This group and that group. Let's see if we can make them ever so slightly falling ever so slightly slower. So border select all of these and see what, oh, hello, what's happening now? There we go. See what else we can fiddle with here. So mass was not the answer. Damping translation, sensitivity, surface response. Jay, congratulations! That's very good to hear. Is that in DAZ Studio 4.12? Yeah, it looks like mass is the only parameter we can fiddle with. Maybe it has to be the damping translation then. So more damping, I guess, would create the same effect as a feather, maybe. They just get more air resistance. Is that what happens? Let's try it out. With the new tip that Christina learned from Marcos and I've learned from Christina, let's go and select all of these guys. And then damping translation, maybe I'll just go set this to 0.5 just to see what happens. While I press Alt, I just go hack in the value, 0.5, hit enter, and I'm hoping now that all my little bits and bobs here have that value. Yes, that is correct. Okay, let's go do this with the other group as well. Slightly further up above, border select around that, hit Alt and go 0.5, enter, release Alt. And now just to prove a point, yes, there we go. Maybe this has indeed solved the problem. Is the Restream bot talking to you, Joe? He's only trying to do his job. We had somebody in the chat once. We had to ban him, but he kept shouting at the Restream bot because he didn't quite know what that meant. It's just a little relay thing that relays the chat messages from one streaming platform to another, so that if we're chatting on Mixer, then those chat messages will only appear on Mixer. But if Gorma or Jay the animator wanted to see them, this little bot relays them. So that's the reason behind that. Okay, let's try this out. First group, second group, third group, and fourth group. Look at that. That has done the trick. That has totally done the trick. So we just added more air resistance to the mix. First group, falls, second group, third group, fourth group. Third and fourth group are slower. I'm inclined to put the same trick on the second group because they're still falling a little bit faster. Second group needs the same treatment. Cool. I think I'm also gonna, because I can detect the pattern here, that they fall in exactly the same way because I've literally just moved them up. So I think I'm gonna just rotate each group a little bit so that the falling pattern is just a little bit different there. So first group's fine, second group, it needs to be slower. Third and fourth group are great. They just need to be, second, third, and fourth group need to be rotated a little, and then I think we're there. So, first group, stay as you are. Whoops, oh my god. Second group, let's have a chat. I see, it's not what I wanted. Surface response, yes, that was it. So make that 0.4 maybe, just vary it up a little bit. And while I've got y'all selected, let me go and rotate you around the, oh, is it the x-axis? I say, old boy, no, it's not, is it? You're rotating locally. Shouldn't that be the z-axis? RZ. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Just a little bit over here. Nice one. Next group. There they are. Border select you guys. RZ perhaps the other way around, like so. Nice. Last and final group, last but not least, I should say. RZ perhaps, I don't know, like this one. And also G Shift Z perhaps a little bit further over here. Just see if that makes a difference. Okay, final version, my friends. Let's have a look. different falling pattern there. Well, these rocks at the top, I've moved them a little bit too far to the front there, I think. I think they missed the logo entirely. Yeah, I'm going to move them back a little bit because they just fall over here too much. Okay, no problem, no problem. It's actually quite nice to see them fall like this from here. That is quite cool. And the first group, they may actually be a little bit too close, so I may have to move them up a little bit as well. They may be in vision. So before we bake that to keyframes, we're going to have a look at what this looks like through the camera. So, but just these guys, G shifts that just a bit further back over there. Now that was too, no, that was that good? I think the second block fell in the wrong spaces. I think only the first, yeah. I think maybe the second block needs to come forward a little bit as well. So slightly over here, and then these guys just put them slightly further over here. Probably doesn't even make a difference, but hey. Let's look at this through the camera. I can't, can I? Because they're not in that position yet. I'm just gonna have to eyeball it. Oh, they're actually gonna be out of. No, there we go. Cool. Okay, so that's where we see them. So they just need to be up a notch so that I don't see these coming into vision there, just on that frame. They need to be positioned out of vision there. Okay, let's do that. And it's just the first group that's in question here. Trick is going to be selecting them and them only. There. That should do the trick. Let's do one final check before we do any keyframe baking. Rocks, more rocks. So those rocks fell a little bit too far at the back there, didn't they? Does it matter? Second group, they don't hit the logo. I mean, not that I want to necessarily destroy the logo. It's just, yeah, second group. I'm not super happy about. Second group, yes, I can see that here. That wasn't a good idea, was it? Is this the top view? Is 4 the top view? I think it is, isn't it? 7. All right. Thank you. I'm always paranoid to select something that I didn't want to select. There, I've just lined them up so that they kind of form more from the top of the logo. Come on, this should be it now. Rocks, more rocks, rocks, more rocks. That was it. That was 4 groups. Yes, let's have another look here. First, second, third. What happened to the 4th group? I've lost some rocks. 1 group, another group, another group. Yeah, there's only 3 groups. Where's those other rocks gone? Okay, nobody panic. Where are the rocks? Yeah, it looks like I've lost some rocks. Where are they then? Jay hasn't lost his marbles, Jay's lost some rocks. What a shame. You've seen me put some more rocks there, haven't you? Unbelievable. We're gonna find them rocks. Oh, look at that. I've accidentally switched some off. What happened here? Why did I do that? I must have accidentally hit some kind of magic button. Oh yeah, look at that. Quite a few rocks. I'm sorry. I don't think that makes that much sense. That's... I wish I could select the logo like here. There it is. Yes. I like it. Rod, that's a good question. That is a very good question. I thought it did. Carrara has one. 2nd group of rocks. 3rd group of rocks. Really? It looks like the 3rd group of rocks still not quite in the position that I'd like it to be in. Man. That's my rocks. Well, since rocks are gonna, they're fickle, I'm just gonna leave everything as it is right now, whatever that looks like. That's what it's gonna look like for the final animation. That's it. Perfect. It's fine. So some rocks come down slightly in front of it. Okay, it's fine. I'm happy about that. I'm gonna go save this over what we just did so that we have something that we can go back to. And now I'm gonna go and make sure these things are lined up properly. Oh, actually, first of all, I'm gonna go and bake those guys into keyframes. And then I'm gonna go and put them into one large empty so that I can, much like these guys here, so that I can move them in and out of place. So in and out of vision before they, so that they don't disturb the first frame of vision there, the first kind of introduction that we have there. We do that, I believe, by heading over to Object, Rigid Body, Bake to Keyframes, I think. Do I need to select all my bits and bobs here first? Or do I do that afterwards? I think I do that afterwards. End frame, we're probably going to be okay up until frame, I think 300 is probably going to be fine. Let me try that. Baking to keyframes. There are a lot of rocks, so maybe this takes a little bit more time. I like that there's no progress modifier, like, please be patient. We just get nothing. That's just, Blender wants us to believe in it. Yeah, progress modifier, that goes right straight to the top of the wish list. And by progress modifier, I don't mean Windows saying the application does no longer respond. Would you like to close it? That's not the kind of progress modifier I'm talking about. I mean, like, a thing that says, hey, progress bar or something, Yeah. But that's just, Blender didn't have undo for years, because the real hardcore users were saying, we don't want undo, we don't need it. We don't make mistakes. That's so funny. Good thing I saved, wasn't it? I don't remember that advert, but that is very funny. I'm young, I can wait. I wish that was so true. I did really like your message, Brian, on Discord, when you said, I wonder how much time I've spent waiting for something to happen. Progress bar, rendering, that sort of thing. It is true. How many days, weeks, years in combination? I'm tempted to just try and move the timeline. Maybe it's already happened, Was that there's no, I'm starting to do this, I'm finished doing this message here. Maybe it's already happened. I don't know. See, I don't think it has happened. Hasn't happened, has it? Man, okay, let's try this again. So first we're going to hit play to simulate this whole thing. Look at them fall. Okay, great. Now let's try this again. Maybe I need to actually select these guys. Maybe that was my mistake. Because when in doubt, it's never Blender's fault. It's always the user's fault. There we go. So these are all my little rocks selected here. Let's try this again. Object, rigid body, bake to keyframes. And I say 300. Let's hit OK. Let's hit OK. Pretty sure that's what I did before. Ha! There we go. I knew the display changes eventually. We are now all keyframed up, I believe. Okay, good. So now let me go into this falling rocks collection, or CTO we used to call it, change the operator. And let's go and create another empty cube because we like cubes. And we're going to call this not empty001. We're going to call that logo rocks. And now we're going to go and select all of our rocks. And go and, oh, actually, no, we don't. Sorry, we're going to go and move this guy kind of, you know, further up, I guess. That should do the trick somehow. Now we're going to go select all our little rocks, like so. And I think this was right-click magic. I was thinking about this the other day. I keep forgetting that right-click has really cool options now, and I never associated right-click as a contextual menu with Blender. It's just not something, I'm not used to that. I'm always thinking right-click, well, Blender just, you know, it's weird about right-click. It isn't anymore, it's nice. So I think it was parent object, that was it, right? And then I get another question, I think. But I don't have to answer that because, you know, that's all good. I think that's how it worked. Logo rocks, and this thing, oh yeah, I'm going to rename that as well. So that's logo rocks, and that's the crack rocks. There. So that I know one's for the crack, one's for the logo. So now the logo rocks. Am I right in thinking that I can move this whole thing elsewhere to initiate the falling of this thing? Or should I have moved the keyframes of all the rocks further back? That's what I should have done, wasn't it? That's what I should have done. I'm just thinking to myself, I think I can still do that, I think. Yes, I think I can still do that. So this is our camera here on the right-hand side. And just to get a bit of an impression of, these are my first rocks here, they're falling down. Now the rover comes and does this. And I think now I'd like my rocks to fall. So around about frame 500. That's a good start for all my rocky friends to do their thing. So I'll go and, I guess, select all my rocks here so that all the keyframes are lighting up. Actually, I'm going to go and make sure I don't select anything else. Select all my rocky friends. That's the whole keyframe animation right there. And I say, I'm going to go and select all these keyframes and make them all start at about frame 500, or maybe slightly beforehand. Is that how it will work? I wonder. Let's find out. I do that, and rocks. Where are you, rocks? Rocks? Anybody? My rocks no longer fall. So if so, they fall into the wrong place. No one's falling at that position. I think I shouldn't have parented them quite that early. An emitter, an emitter of rocks. If rather than animate group after group after group, just have a rock emitter that just emits thousands of rocks until you say stop. That's a great idea. No, that's a very good thinking, Christina. Let's do that next time. I think that's a good idea. Also, if it doesn't go well with these with the rock thing, which it looks like it you know, it's one of those things. It's slightly, ever so slightly tricky. Let me go revert this to the last known file here. Oh yeah, let me try the undo history. You like the undo history? I don't even know where the undo history really is. Let me see if I can do that. Repeat history, is that it? Display menu for previous actions performed. Maybe that's it. Make parent, that's perfect. I'm going to go and go to about here. If I select make parent, does that mean that action is included? Actually, we'll find out, won't we? So there we go. Aha, perfect. So that hasn't been included. That's good. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. No, actually, sorry. That is that's still there. So go to here. Parent should be going away now. It's not doing what I'm expecting to do. I'm just going to go revert. You know, there comes the point where I just can't really work things out. Revert, yes, let's do that. Before we started parenting anything to anybody, because what I should have done is, yeah, perfect. I haven't even created my other empty yet. So this is the one with the crack rocks. Let's go call it crack rocks. And now I'll go and select all my other rocks and first of all move them into position. There, that's probably what I should have done beforehand. I haven't even actually baked them to keyframes, I just realized. These guys are all still... They haven't even fallen yet. Crazy stuff. Okay, come on, guys, fall. There. Curious why some of them fall through the landscape in their entirety. I have no idea why, but hey, that's just how it goes, I guess. So let's go bake these guys to keyframes. Again, rigid body, bake to keyframes. 1 to about 300. That was enough. And boom. Sinkholes. That's got to be it. That's got to be it, right? I mean, it's unstable planet and everything. I had to press OK twice last time, didn't I? Oh, is it still working on it? Oh yeah, still working on it. Okay, cool. Well, with all these keyframes selected, let me just go and move them right away because we know they're supposed to be add frame kind of around 500. There we go. Rover goes by, rocks are dropping. Most of them anyway. Let's look through the camera and see what this looks like. Rover goes by. Rocks could start falling here, couldn't they? Yeah, we make him fall slightly earlier. And I can see that the animation can now go up to frame 800. Okay, let's do that. Animation goes to 800. And I guess just when the rover is coming out of vision at this point, I think they could start coming into vision kind of right here. Oh, look at that. This is so funky that we can do this with Blender. That is so nice. I really like that. So rover just goes out. Actually, I do like it better once the rover has disappeared. Let's do that. Rover disappears. That's when the first rocks are coming in. How's that? Like so. Then it looks more like the rover has caused the rocks to fall. Maybe we're okay when the animation ends at frame 750 then. Let's do that. 750. Boom. I like it. Let's put some materials on here. Or like look dev mode and look at the whole thing in its entirety. Oh yes, also one other thing we need to do. We need to put all these guys, I'm going to go and save this as it is right now before I screw anything up. Ha, there we go. Let's view it all. It's a little bit slower. So these guys are in vision. We're going to move them out of vision until we're ready. In a moment. Rover does that. Crack rocks fall down. Rover passes by, spinning wheels and everything. And now, cue the rocks. And they just keep coming and coming. So the animation in real time is going to be slightly slower. So this is kind of the more like the real time playback that the animation is going to be running at. So that's kind of good to see. Super impressed with the real time preview we're getting here. Very, very impressed. Rover goes by. Rocks start falling. That's cool, isn't it? Come on. That is really cool stuff. I think so too. Very nice. Very nice. I did save it, right? Yes, I think I did save it. All we need to do now really is move these rocks out of vision when the camera goes and does the pan, and like right now we would see them, so we need to make sure they're just not appearing at that point. And we'll just see, just pick a frame, they're still in vision there, so we can now bring them to their position at about here, I'd say. So they need to be out of vision here, and at that point we're okay already. I think at frame 200 we won't see them again. Okay, frame 200. Let's remember that. So we need to give them the same treatment as I've given these guys here. So I'll go and create that new empty now, empty cube maybe. The cube is kind of down here, so I'm going to go and lift it up a little bit, just as a visual reference. And this one is going to be the logo rocks. And now I'm going to go and select all my friends here and go and right click parent to another object. Oh no, that's not how you do it, is it? Is it? I think that was bad. Let's undo that. I should have selected the empty as the last object and then use that operation. So now all my rocks are selected. And now I need to select my empty as the last guy, making that the active thing, even though it doesn't look like it's the active thing. Yeah, that's inconsistent. That is just so inconsistent. Selected in the scene, then it becomes the active one, not in the thing. That's weird. That's weird, isn't it? That's weird. Anyway, now we go right click, now we go parent object or control P, whatever, and that parents everything to the logo rocks. Right, Blender? Blender, come back, buddy. Okay. So nothing's changed to our rocks. They're still falling the same way. But we now have the good fortune that we can select my logo rocks empty object, go to the object properties, and tell the timeline that we want to animate this whole thing. So hover the cursor over the location block here, press I, that should set a keyframe, turning the color a little bit different. So at, what did we say, frame 200, that's when we want them to be at this position. So I'm going to go set another keyframe here, I. That's kind of a yellow thing. Green means something's interpolating right now. Yellow means there's an actual keyframe here. And I'm doing that because at frame 200, I know I want them in this position. So now I'm going to go back to the first keyframe, and then I'll go and, in fact, look through the camera on my other monitor, if you will. And at that point, I can now make an educated guess as to how far these guys need to be out of vision. So GZ kind of, it doesn't really matter how far, just out of vision is what we want. And then press I again so that, oops, no, that's not what I meant, sorry. Come on, disappear. There, disappeared. At that point, I need to make sure GZ is out of vision, somewhere here, there. And now go press I. And that means from here to there, oh yeah, they're doing this now, aren't they? This is not what I want either. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. I should have set another keyframe about here that makes them stay at that position. So you can see on the right here, they're kind of coming into vision slightly. Ideally, I wanted for them to be out of vision from here to there unchanged. So I could insert another keyframe or even duplicate this keyframe and put that here. Turns out it doesn't matter because I don't catch them in vision on the left monitor. So it's fine the way this works here. Or is it? No, actually, look at that. I think there's still, that might just be the pivot point of the empty there. But I just, just to be on the absolute safe side here, if I select this keyframe, shift duplicate that, and just move that to over here, then that's exactly what happens. So the position of my cube object isn't going to change from here to there thanks to the duplicated keyframe, and then between here and there my rocks will fall very quickly into position, and then they're there when I need them, and now they're going to start falling. Excellent. Wow, that was tough. That was tough. Thank you, Captain. Thank you very much. Let's go and save this. Just save over whatever it was that we had, because this is the version we want. It's awesome. All we need to do now for this to be ready for final render is put some exciting materials on the rover. And I think I'm going to go and grab myself some water, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Join me then. Welcome back. Part two. I like these little breaks. I think this is going to be a permanent feature now. I like that. I like that. Got myself a drink, and two things I wanted to bring up. So first of all, Joe, I'll be up tomorrow at about 5 p.m. I'm thinking maybe we'll do some superliminal tomorrow. Let's finish superliminal off because I think this is a good project we can hopefully wrap up today, and I can show you the results tomorrow before we finish off the superliminal game. That'd be kind of cool to see what other crazy tricks they provide us with there. That's number one. And number two, I didn't realize, Captain Slaymore, that you had cancer as well. So although it's weird to say this, welcome to the club. It's not doesn't really have the same the a good ring to it. But it's amazing. So we're all survivors here. That's very cool. Christina's surviving it right now. So that's awesome. That's quite fascinating. And I'm bringing this up because. The last lecture I taped of my oncologist, Dr. Kuznir, in May, he's speaking in front of a group of seniors and explains the latest discoveries in cancer research. And he says these things are coming in so fast. It's so many exciting cures being developed that are so currently cancer has always been seen as one illness, and they're coming to the conclusion that it isn't one illness, it's several illnesses, and depending on what strand of the cancer you have, they can give you certain combinations of medication. I think that's going to be really, really exciting to literally personalize cancer care. So very, very cool news there, very good news. So there we go. Well, Brian, maybe you're the odd one out who doesn't get cancer. Hopefully you won't. Hopefully no one else will get cancer. I hope at one point cancer is one of those things that people look at and say, oh, it's not really a life-threatening boogeyman that it once was. I mean, it's already at that point more than it was 20, 30 years ago, but it's still, if treatment doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if they don't know what to do, they just don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to acknowledge that you're one of the cancer guys. It's crazy how many people have cancer these days. And it brings me to this point that every time I'm thinking about it, it's important that we focus on the positive things in life and the things that we have fun with, and not all the crap that drags us down, because I still believe that that's something that just makes us more susceptible to getting any kind of illness, including cancer. If we're miserable and we do something that we're not designed to do, if we do something against our will, I think that is when our immune system just nosedives and lets attacks in, and we have to focus on things that are exciting and fun for us and follow the passion, that sort of thing. If it's playing with Blender, then it's playing with Blender. I enjoy playing with Blender, even though it drives me nuts sometimes, but I feel Blender is on my side, and I'm getting quite a lot of fun and really good animations out of it. I mean, like this example shows, and I also think that the previous animation and this one, I don't feel like I made that happen. I think we made that happen as a group. That is even more exciting. So yes, there we go. Inspirational talk over. Let's go and have a look at materials for our rover. Did I save my thing here? I think I did save my thing, didn't I? Let's go save it again, just in case. I'll go and work with this viewport here, work with the rover. There is something I've been meaning to ask Christina, and that is something that I just need a reminder of that. Before I started using the PBR Extreme, or maybe around about the same time, you gave me a really exciting tip that there is a material collection, like a simple materials collection included in Blender. And I do not, the material library, that's the one. I don't remember where that is. I've been looking the other day, but, oh, it's an add-on. I have to, see, sometimes that's just that extra bit of info that we need to, material library. that extra thing that I didn't remember, because I looked down here and I just didn't find it. Yeah, of course, add-on isn't activated, so let's go and do that. And it's properties material. Haha. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. On the material tab, which is somewhere at the bottom, isn't it? Material library VX. Woo! Ha! That's the one, right? I don't need to restart Blender or anything. This is fine the way it is, because I've just saved the file, so I'm happy to do that if that's necessary. Looks like it's there. So materialize Gorma. I don't know that. No, I've not heard of it. Is it for which application is it? Drop it. Yeah, thank you for the link. Excellent. Thank you. Materialize. I might just go and close the whole surface thing down now. The thing with all these surface properties on the rover is that I don't really know what is what. So I'm gonna have to little go in the, whoops. Oh, that wasn't good, was it? There. Rover. That is really odd, isn't it? Where is the rover as soon as I go into edit mode? That's crazy. Where's my rover? The wheels are still there, but as soon as I'm in edit mode, the rover goes away. Oh man, what's happened there? That'll make materializing the rover a tiny bit difficult. So let me just go and switch some of the things off here, that we can just go and focus on the rover. Like the debris and the falling rocks as well. That's all. And cameras and stuff. Well, that's perhaps not everything, just the landscape. Let's go make the landscape visible. That might also give us a little clue as to what happens when I go into material mode. Where is the rover? In the distance somewhere? That's really bizarre, isn't it? I have no idea where it is now. And also, so if I go out of edit mode, he's back. If I go into edit mode, I could go and select everything with A. That's what I'm doing now. So with everything selected, I can press the full stop button on the numpad, and that'll kind of zoom me into whatever's selected right now, which should be everything. But I'm doing that, and it doesn't matter if I select it or deselect it, it doesn't bring me there. So it's almost like the rover is just, it was always a little bit weird. That's crazy. If let me put it to some other keyframe, what happens there? Same thing. It makes no sense, does it? Seriously makes no sense. There's the meshes. Blender, the software of limited usability, perhaps. Of course, I'm doing it all wrong. That is the common denominator here. It's not Blender's fault. It's so I guess the only option we have is then just to texture these things one by one without being able to see where the geometry is, because it disappears. So that's bizarre. That's bizarre. So we'll just go and because text 03 isn't exactly something we can guess what that might be. So let's go and put something on there. Cycles materials. Let's have a look. Apple juice, basic glass, building, car paint, chocolate swirl, coated glossy. Perhaps like no, I totally understand, you know, and I totally understand that they're fixing bugs. It's just that kind of the basic things you'd imagine they wouldn't get touched, but like in so many complex applications, you fix that thing over there in a menu, and it affects something that no one's no one's found before. Hey, it's cool. We can live with it. We're just gonna go through this one by one with you know with the dummy material. I like the idea of maybe coated glossy. We should be able to see that. If I go apply to selected, let's see what happens. Coated glossy. So that's what that does. I wonder what it is. But maybe I'm happy with the red dots. Maybe we'll just go and, you know, leave it there. Wonder what this is. Alt H in edit mode. Oh man, you are the star. This is very nice of you. So okay, I'm gonna go into edit mode. Alt H. Tell us, what does that do? What does Alt H do? They were hidden polygons. That's what it was. It hasn't disappeared. My first suspicion was, thank you so much. My first suspicion was that the geometry had moved away because, I don't know, something wasn't zeroed out. They were simply hidden. That is super, super easy. Should have thought about that. Oh, that is nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, right. Unhide all the polygons. And I was the one hiding them when I was isolating the wheels. That was me. As I said, it was all my fault, of course. So the advantage of doing this now is that I can go and in edit mode, select one of these patterns here and then say selected, and then I can see what it is that the material will be applied to. So I have a feeling this could be something like a shiny metal. Let's see if we can find something like that. Diamond, facade, fake glass, Fresnel, metallic paint. Could be metallic paint. Let's try that. Metallic paint. Apply to selected. It's blue. Nah, I don't think so. Molten mosaic. Polished walnut. Ooh, pool water, raspberry. Rough walnut, silver planet. That could look cool. Let's try that. Let's try silver planet. Yes, I'm totally with Christina Marcos. You should do Blender tutorials. Disclaimer, this is not a tutorial, by the way. Let's see what that looks like. If I'm allowed out of edit mode. Am I allowed out of edit mode here? Just casually pressing the, oh, okay, there we go. Still doing things. That looks alien. Not bad. It's got some kind of a bump map applied here. Let's keep looking, shall we? It's nice, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Silver planet, soap bubble, sponge, rusty. Could be rusty. So no metal? Is there no something like galvanized steel? Let's try that. That could be cool. Apply to selected. That could work. I like it. Okay. Let's see what happens next. This, well, let's go and deselect everything. Select this. That's just such a small part. I think we'll also use galvanized steel for that. Parts. Select. Oh yeah, okay. This could be something like a black plastic, I'm thinking. Ground brown. Jewelry, lemon, marble. some of these things I don't even know what they are. Pro humain, for example. Plus sur vitre. Maintenant, maybe we'll try to see what it is. Hopefully not. That's a very good point, Brian. Let me try. Let me see if it does make a difference, just in case we have to go back to the saved version there. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're not keyframing this. Let me go out of edit mode and see. This was plus sur vitre. I don't even know what that means. Oh, let me move the guy. No, it doesn't make a difference. That's good. I had tried frame 0 at first. I thought maybe that would solve the hidden polygon issue, but there we go. I'll put it in frame 0 just in case. So if anyone knows what this is, plus sur vitre, please let me know. I'll go with planet plane just to see what it looks like. I just thought it might be nice to go through some of these built-in materials before we resort to the extreme PBR. This is also not really what I'm after. Kind of a black plastic. Thank you, Marcos, by the way. Thank you for the physics compliment. It was hard work, but we got there in the end. Maybe floor wood. Let me try floor wood. That could be fun. Some right. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, some floor wood. That could be fun. If it's like some wooden parts on the rover that's been on a weird planet for a while. That's fun. Wooden pieces sticking out. I like that. Could be like a wood grain type rover. I like that. White LED. Okay, let's have a look what white LED is. Where is that? White LED is there. Oh, that's nice. Do we have something like a light? Incandescent. Awesome. Let's do that. I wonder what Blender does when it's applying a material. It looks like a tough, resource-intense process there. Barely visible wherever it is. It must do, yes, it must do. That is, what is that? That's on the side here, okay. What did we use there again? The basic glass? Could that be glass? Oh, that could just all be metal here. I think maybe I'll just go back to extreme PBR. Those material previews were a little bit more intuitive. Maybe I'll go back to that. Some of these parts are so small as well. I don't even know where they are. Oh, this is the underside here. Yeah, that can be the same material. Pivot. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that could all be metal. Yeah, let's do some extreme PBR materials here. Let's do that. If I can remember how they work, something like metal plates, pipe painted metal. Painted metal. Let's have a look. Yeah, something like that. Because it's been there a while. Let's do that. Oh yes, and then everything except for displays. I forgot, did I have to be in edit mode for that? Look at that. Oh, the underside, was that the underside here? No, what was the underside? Oh, there we go. What is that? That's tex01. Okay, cool. So tex01, let's do that. That's also that metal, please. That'd be good. What's the side here? That is text02. Okay, cool. So text02, I feel like, oops, I feel like that could be something like a plastic, maybe plastic. Not ideal. Maybe it's blue plastic. Let's try that. Yeah, maybe it's blue plastic. So what's this then? I can't even see where that is. How about this? Where is that? Can't see that either. How about that? Can't see that either. Well, we'll just go and select our way through it and just deal with this little viewport here. That's much nicer. So that bit here, I feel that could also be something like a brushed metal. Or perhaps something golden, or like copper. Something golden. Something golden. Let's make it gold. I like it. Gold. Gold. Haha. I like it. Certainly a lot going on this little guy. Well, let's have a look at the wheels. I don't know how many material zones are on the wheels. That could just be a single one, in which case I say we make that something like a rubber. Brian, that's also a very good idea. Maybe we should consider that. I'm not entirely sure about the way the whole material combination works. I like the idea of yellow, like a bright yellow plastic with some pink bits sticking out. That might be cool. That might be cool. Let's see, rubber. Do we have rubber? Concrete, fabric, wood, travertine. With a skull, yes. I can't see rubber. Plaster wall, plaster painted, tactile paving interior. Fuzzy dice, indeed, yeah, like a hula girl on the dashboard, that sort of thing. Dances from the solar panels. Maybe rubber is here. I just can't see it. What else could it be? Metal walkway, paint, paper, paving, cobblestone, fingerprints. Maybe roofing. Maybe there's something roofing. Yeah, obviously not. But maybe we can maybe make one of these things work. Something like a dark gray. Do we have rubber in here in the regular material library? That could be rubber. There's rusty. And there's no rubber. It's very difficult to come by material in 3D, by the way, rubber. But I'm glad we have apple juice and snowy. That's good. That's, you know, we need that much more often. So, any suggestions how the wheels shall look? I make them concrete. Maybe there's a dark type concrete. Asphalt might be an idea. Let's try asphalt. Oh, there we go. That'll do. It's what wheels look like. Ish. And they're only one material, so that's kind of nice. Let me see. You'd imagine there's a search function here. It's probably really easy to remember keyboard shortcut. Marcos, I'm sure you're right. I just have no idea where even to begin doing such an endeavor. I would imagine these little spokes in the middle could be metal. We could do that, but my head's already hurting enough as it is. I'm surprised we even got that far. So I appreciate this suggestion, but I don't think it's something I can do realistically. It's not good looking, Rod, not at all. Let's see what we can, how this looks in situ with the background and everything. And the falling rocks and the background. One day, Marcos, one day I'll be able to put that in practice. Oh, there we go. Landscape and sphere start wasn't anything we needed to worry about. Oh, look at that. That's that other rover that I had to recreate this guy. This is like the ghost rover. This was the first version of the rover without spinning wheels. And then I added my second rover into here. Let's see, the new rover. That was the new rover. Where's the old rover? Well, I could just go select him. I wonder how I can find him now. Where is he? Is he in, could be here? No. Could he be in here? There we go. There. Gone you are. What does this look like in situ? Well, let's look through the camera with materials. It does look like a very alien little guy here. Good rocks though. I think we need to have another crack at the material. I'm not entirely sure if I recognize that as a rover. I recognized it when it was more or less the same color. But now that it has multiple materials, I think I'm going to make this whole thing simpler. So maybe just put one type of metal material on there with maybe make it a mixture between kind of a silvery thing and a gold thing. What do you think? I think the blue side panels don't do it justice. I'm not happy with the wheel material either. That could probably do with just being a plain black. I don't like the sides. I like the golden aspects of it, but I think the rest of it, I think that just needs to be more of a cohesive color there. Yeah, I'm with you there. Well, back to the drawing board. I don't mind this material here. That's very simple yet broken up type material. That kind of brushed metal thing. Maybe I can find out where that is. Galvanized steel. Okay, cool. Let me go and see if I can. How do I? Well, that was from here, wasn't it? I'm sure there was a way to copy this, but I can't quite remember where and how that was. I thought there was a little menu somewhere. Gold and silver, let's do this. Let's do this in gold and silver. So we've already got the galvanized steel thing. That was from this material here. I'm just going to bring it in from here. Flake 17, that also looks good. Galvanized steel, right, okay. So that's where it is. And we need to get rid of Silver Planet. Apply, oh yeah, let's go and do that. Apply that. That's how it works, right? Or do I need to select that first? Probably select that first. And then go apply to select it. Is that how it works? No, it doesn't, does it? So Silver Planet, select that, wherever that is. Apply to select it? No? I like the light effects though, I must say. Metallic paint, apply to select it. Is that not how it works? This plastic or one thing here. I think I'm also getting slightly confused about materials and material zones here. So like here, I'm seeing plastic 01. Where's that? Where's that here? Good thing I've saved it before I went on this whole material journey, because maybe we'll just go and revert and start from scratch. What do you think? I think I'm just going to go revert. Let me do that. Revert back, because we haven't really done anything other than just mess around and test some bits and bobs. I think so too, Gorma. I think so too. Clean slate, and as artists, we shouldn't be afraid to go tear things down and start again with a clean slate. At the end of the day, that's what got us here in the first place. New rover. Hello, rover. Let's be on the first frame here. And oh, this was actually before I had added the material. Oh, material library is still here. Okay, okay. Good stuff. Get rid of that. Material library VX. Cycles. There's also cycles templates. Very interesting. Wonder what those are. Template image, template converter color. Oh, okay, good stuff. Something to get us started, I guess. Okay, let's have a look at the cycles materials here. And once again, let's go and get rid of the background. And this should actually also be landscape front. I think I'm going to move that into the background thing there. Perfect. Easier for us to then have one tick box with which to get rid of stuff. Oh yes, that old trick. Can we remember what it was? Was it Alt H? Yes, it was. Whew. Reveal hidden. My God. Scary every time it happens, though, isn't it? So we really want to select most of this to be maybe this could be all in silver, and the sides as well here. What's this? That's that as well. So let's select all of these in addition to that. Yeah, great. Galvanized steel, wasn't it? Galvanized steel, there we go. Apply to selected. And then do we also have something on here? That's that. Did we get the gold from here? Was there some gold in here? Lemon. Oh, let's try lemon. I wonder if it has bumps like a real lemon. That'd be kind of silver and yellow. That might be. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. That's cool. I like it. Lemon and silver. That's nice. How can we find out what doesn't have a material on it yet? Because I could just probably select everything. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just select everything. Put galvanized what's it on everything. That's a good idea. And then we have that and the wheels at least covered in some material. And then if we wanted to change something, then we can go ahead and do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Maybe Blender needs a bit of time to do that here. And I can still see some lemon on the top there. Blender, are you with us? Are you working? Apply to selected. Reload material. Does anything happen? Oh, well, there we go. There we go. Blender. Don't crash on us, buddy. Huh. Oh, right, okay, so it did actually change it, but it didn't do that while it was still selected in edit mode. I had to leave edit mode for the material to be applied there. Okay, that's fine. We can live with that. So there was something golden, and I'd like to just have a couple of pieces that I'll make gold. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some of these things here. What is this part of? Yeah, I don't know. It's all now galvanized steel. It doesn't really show up any other material groups now. Have I just destroyed them? Could that be possible? I guess I have. That's fine. I guess with me then. That's cool. So it'll just be all galvanized steel. Fine. And the wheels will be different color. That's okay. I'll do that. That's, you know, if that's how it is, then that's how it is. That's okay with me. But we need to find something. We need to find something that looks more like rubber. So I wonder, shall we try gobstopper? That might be something. Apply to selected. Gobstopper material. That's what gobstopper looks like. I didn't see anything change. Oh, there, that's what gobstopper looks like. It's not what I'm looking for, I'm afraid. Ground brown, invisible light, incandescent jewelry, lemon, marble, metallic paint, molten mosaic, polished walnut, pool water, rough walnut, sponge, stone red, tire rubber. Oh my god, there it is. That's exactly what we're looking for. Tire rubber. Ay, caramba. Tire rubber. Okay. That's nice. That is good. Oh, there's the copy material thing again. So I'll go and do this and paste that. Can I do that onto multiple bits and bobs here? Just checking. Paste material. Is that? Yes. Look at that. Whoa. That's nice. It's black, like rubber tires. Yeah, the gobstopper material was quite nice. Look at that. It's all integrated in Blender. No extreme PBR necessary. So at least I think this is kind of a more funky unit now. Slightly simpler. Let's see it in situ. That wasn't so hard. Time consuming. Oh, there, look at that. So now my old rover is back, isn't it? So this is the new rover. That's my ghost rover, the one that didn't like the wheels for the last time. Then where was that? I keep forgetting where I put that in. Is that in here? Yeah, there's rover. That's it. So I'll call that old rover. Rover. And maybe I'll go and make another collection of stuff that we no longer need, like, you know, material preview dummy. That can also go out here. I suppose that I don't need that anymore. Now here's another trick I've picked up on Blender. If I'm in a collection and I create a new collection, there's a collection inside a collection, and I have not found a way to get that collection out of that collection. So in order to create a collection that is at the root level, I think I have to select scene collection, and then I can go and say new, and I'll call that one unused. And so the old rover can go in there, and there were some other things. A material preview dummy that can go in there into unused. And then there was something else, which was some kind of the starting sphere, I believe. Here, this is a good example. Collection inside a collection. I have tried to get this out of there. And in this case, it kind of makes sense, but it is, you know, sphere start and sphere end. So those things, they can go move to unused. So now I have an unused collection, and I can just switch the whole collection off. There we go. Now it's no longer bugging us. Rover with materials. He just changes his position there rapidly because, you know, that's just what he does. Well, let's see what that looks like with materials. I like that much better. That shows me much more that it's a rover. It looks more like a cohesive thing. I didn't like the... Yeah, there we go. That's nice. That's nice. Ooh, look at him all shiny. Oh, that is great. I like it. I like it. Oh, I forgot to switch on the 3D Shenanigans logo, right? Because the logo is supposed to be here. Makes you wonder why it's not. There we go. There. Come back. Come back to us. It's not back. It's enabled. Where's my logo? That is odd, isn't it? What's it doing there? That's not where I put it. Why is it up here? That makes no sense at all. I didn't move the logo. Who moved the logo? Why would the logo be up there? Maybe there'll be some merch available, Captain. That might be nice. A J bobblehead. Maybe we need to model one. But why is my logo up in the air? I never touched the logo and said let's put it higher. Why would that have happened? It makes no sense at all, I'm afraid. Not to me anyway. The good thing is my 3D cursor is still in the position where the logo was. I seem to remember I selected the logo and put the cursor into its position to position the rocks properly. So I suppose the easiest way to do that would be just to go and selection to cursor, and that should bring it into exactly the correct position. That was just pot luck, but how that happened must have been me though. Must have been. I must have pressed something that made that happen. Yeah, looks like it's in the correct position, so. No, it doesn't actually, does it? This is not how I framed it up. Oh, come on, that's terrible. Now the materials are there, now the logo is not good. That's crazy. I'm gonna go save this as a version 27. So we'll go back to 26 because those materials are actually fairly easy to apply to the rover. Let's see how version 26 or 26 looks like. And also, I think I'm gonna just go and close Blender. Ha ha ha! There we go. Oops, that's universe is collapsing in on itself there. Let's try this again. Let's try Blender out again with crack 26 and see where the logo is there. And if not, maybe we can just manually. What do you think? Yes, of course. Control Shift Alt L. The logo is in the correct position there. It makes no sense. We always said when we had these in television, we always had these spurious pieces of equipment on loan, and we were supposed to test out, hey, do they do what we want them to do and all that, and sometimes things would just not work, and none of us could figure out what it is. And one of the running gags I always said was, hey, check if the equipment is behaving really weird, check if shit mode is on. Maybe we need to disable shit mode. Let's have a look if that's on. In preferences, shit mode enabled system here. No, it's off. What a shame. It's not that then. Crazy. Okay. I'm going to leave everything as it is. Just go and look at my little rover again. Add the materials that I need, tire rubber, and the other thing in situ. I didn't know, no keyframes at all. The only thing that I did do, and that may have something to do with it, I think I've switched some things around in the collection. So I've made an unused collection. Do you think that had something to do with it? Before we do materials, let's do that. Let's clean up our scene just a little bit and see, just have a look at the logo and see if that does anything. So I'm going to go and create that unused collection number 6. Unused, and one of those things was, of course, that fake rover here, the disabled one. We also don't want to see in the render, so I'm going to go and disable that in the render just to be on the safe side. Move it to unused. The background landscape is there. There's the logo is in here. I didn't move that to anything else. Landscape front, I think I just moved that to the background collection. I thought that made sense that it's in there. There's sphere start and end, so I'm going to move that into unused. Logo still in the correct position. Or maybe it was that. If I move that into unused, what happens then? No, logo is in the correct position. Moving the timeline also, logo stays where it's supposed to be. Good to know. And then we're going to switch unused off, so it's unused. Ah, why is my logo gone now? When did what? My logo isn't in the unused group. Why does it disappear when I switch off the unused group? That makes literally no sense. It's in here, isn't it? It's in the cameras and stuff position. That's my logo. If I switch that off, that's not my logo? Could have sworn it is. I guess it isn't. I'm another logo. Superb. I think I remember what's happened now. I think that sphere that I put in the unused group, that sphere end, that actually has the geometry of my logo on it. That's why this mishap happened, because the logo end is, so I can switch this off. But that mustn't be in the unused collection, I guess. That must be, maybe I'll just put that back in the cameras and stuff collection. Cameras and stuff. And put that into the 3D Shenanigans group. Why is it gone? Because now 3D Shenanigans is switched off. Yes, yes, it all makes sense, almost. So I'm going to switch this guy off. And sphere end, I'm going to call that the real logo. There, that makes perfect sense. I replaced the geometry. It used to be a sphere, and then we did this thing in here, didn't we? And we put somewhere in, I don't know, somewhere, was it in somewhere, geometry data perhaps. We added, I don't remember, but this is where that was, and we replaced the sphere with the logo. Anyway, the ghost rover is back. Oh dear. Didn't I put the ghost rover into the unused section? I guess I didn't. Switch off the unused section first of all. Is that good? Oh, there we go. The rover must have been in there then, mustn't it? Yeah, was it? I'm confused. Yes, it was. Perfect. So we switch that off. The logo stays. And even if I move the timeline, everything is hunky-dory here. Whew. Ah, thank you for hanging in there. All we need to do now is put materials on the rover, and then we're done. Let's see if we can do that without any further mishaps. I'm going to look at that logo and just make sure it doesn't change positions. I'm going to go and save this before we do anything else. 27 was the one that was, then I'll just go to the next one, 28. So, Blender Material Library. Material Library VX, Cycles Materials. And I believe that was Alt H? Yes, it was. Reveal hidden. Ay caramba. Select faces. And select essentially everything. Do you know, Rob, this is why things take forever. This is why we basically spend hours at the computer and nothing seemingly is happening. It's just because we play this game with we press this button and we can't explain why some unexplainable thing has happened. Galvanized steel, apply to selected. Galvanized steel. Just in case, Christina, anyone's worried about, is Blender usable enough? Or should we focus perhaps on the basics, or what the kind of the stupid users would do? I mean, the cracks would never approach a program like that like I do now. I'm approaching it like this is a video game. Yeah, just in case they ask, Christina, is there anything we can improve in regards to the usability of Blender? Yeah, point them in the direction of my streams. One material down, one more to go. Galvin, nice steel. Right, and these were rubber tires, I seem to remember. Actually, no, they were tire rubber. That's why we didn't find it under rubber. Just out of curiosity, is this the search field? Yeah, look at that. So this actually has a search field. If I go rubber, then it brings up tire rubber. There we go. I can imagine, Christina, because I would imagine they are so involved in other things. It could well be, because especially when you've been using Blender for a while, you think, well, isn't it obvious how you do that? I can see that. Especially if you're a coder, you just go, hey, those things are totally obvious, and you go, oh, maybe to you, but not to everybody. Copy material, paste material. Paste material? No. That's a shame, isn't it? Why did that not work? Okay, let's try this again here. Is this the right material zone thing here? That's that. So select all that, paste material. Oh, really? Oh, wow. One wheel doesn't want to materialize. Paste material? Did I really copy this material here? Copy material? Maybe I didn't copy it. Paste material. The unexplainable happens again. I'll just go select it again from the material library. I don't care. It's fine. So copying, pasting materials doesn't work anymore. It's okay. It's just one of those things you live with, not question it. Just go and do it the other way. It's fine. Just go apply it 6 times. It's cool. I don't mind. If that's how we need to do it, it's how we need to do it. And I think it's because of things like this that just the weirdness of Blender is we all love it. But I can see that serious organizations may just think, dude, this is a toy at best, isn't it? Sometimes if the basics are just bizarre, you think, yeah, it's just. I can see that doesn't sit well with the people who've been pouring their lifeblood into Blender, and they have made a remarkable product, I must say. And like I said earlier, some things are just so cool and easy to do in Blender, like all the physics. I mean, apart from my disorganization around them, that was extremely cool to do all this. And that was fairly quick to animate so many individual rocks, I must say. And then basics are just bizarre. Buggy goes, rocks go, buggy goes by, wheels are turning. I like it. We can see they are turning. Would have been a shame if I'd spent all that time making the wheels turn and then we can't even see them turn thanks to material. But no, that's not the case. I think I like that little silver buggy with nothing else on there. I had one other idea. I don't think I'll implement it, but you see these little things here at the top here? I could separate them out and add a driver to the Y direction of the rover as well. So they would go and spin at the top, like, like things would do, like spin slowly. One can turn clockwise, the other counterclockwise. So that would be possible. But I think I won't do that just in the interest of time. I'm kind of happy that this is done and dusted now. I would like to, I'm going to go and save this over my previous thing because I think we're pretty sorted here now. Let's do that. I would like to see this in cycles, of course. Just at least the last shot with this guy and maybe some of my rocks. So let's go, I've saved it. Let's go and let's have a look what that looks like rendered. That's with Eevee. Metally reflections in Eevee. Eevee is very cool. Look at that. Look at this. This is amazing. This is real-time preview. That's crazy. Like, that is seriously exciting about Blender. That is just, I mean, look at this. This is unbelievable. That's real time. And he catches the light. Look at that. That's amazing. That is very cool. That's real time. That's practically rendered now. That's not, it doesn't even really require the cycles render. It looks literally cool enough. And soft shadows and everything. That's unbelievable. This is why we love Blender. That's why we love Blender. Let's just for a laugh, let's have a look at a frame in cycles. Maybe this one here, so that we can see this. Loading render kernels may take a few minutes the first time. They can do status updates. They can do little status messages. They just choose not to do it every time. Bake to keyframes. Silence. The reflecting sun is amazing, isn't it? Absolutely. I'm super impressed. The previous animatic I've made in Eevee also. I didn't do cycles on that occasion. I just made it in Eevee, and it turns out that a full HD 1920 by 1080 image takes Eevee just as long to render as a smaller image. So sometimes it's more about loading all the data in than rendering the image, and so it just took, I guess, 20 seconds to pull all the bits and bobs in for each frame. And then it took a difference between 5 or 10 seconds to render the final image. So I made that in full HD because it didn't make an impact on the render time. So glad I saved it, because I don't know what's going on now, Blender. We were just complimenting you. Don't screw up now. Oh yes, I would love to do that. You know, on one of the previous live streams, Marcos, you left a comment that I should bake the indirect light. I had no idea what that meant. I was thinking, oh, but I made a mental note of that. That I was thinking I need to take a look into that and remember to do this. I think Blender's kind of crashed here. May take a few minutes the first time. Oh, do you know why it's doing that? Because it's a new version of Blender, isn't it? This is 2.81a. This would have probably happened. There we go. Now it's loading it. This would have happened on Blender 2.80 the first time, or 2.81 non-A the first time too. Yes, if you have some Marcos, please drop them in the chat or leave them as a comment somewhere. That would be really cool to get a bit more background on Eevee, because I don't know much about it. I must admit. There we go. Oh, this was when we see the little rover for the first time here, in all its metallized glory, and with the rubber wheels and everything. Come on, dude. First glimpse at the rover. The rubber doesn't really look like rubber, does it? I'll go turn the viewport to 0 so it keeps improving the image. And rather than stop at 32 samples, we can just let it rip. I will do, Joe. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're gonna wind this up in a moment. I'm just gonna have a few test runs here with what it looks like in cycles. Marcos, if you can give me a few tips now on if there's only a couple of buttons I need to press in order to bake the EV lighting in, if that'll improve it, then I'll start rendering it right away. That would be really cool. So that looks good. I like it. What happens on the money shot where little rover goes through the whole thing, which hopefully at one point happens. Oh, there we go. We've missed him. That was the rocks. Where's, oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. Please do, Marcos. Thank you so much. We can just have a quick look around. Maybe just by poking, we find something. Maybe even with the search function that says bake light. Maybe it's as simple as going. Let's see. So I'd like to see this rendered in both in cycles and in Eevee. I'd love it if we could just do the final thing in Eevee. That'd be really nice. Saves us the overhead on cycles, even though it's not actually that dramatic in cycles. It's a fairly simple scene. Let me go switch it back to Eevee and see if I can find something like, you know, this indirect light here. Bake indirect lighting. Maybe it's as simple as that. Bake the active view layer lighting, all light probes. No worries, Marcos. I appreciate the tip though, and perhaps we're just going to go and try this out. Bake indirect lighting. There's also bake cube map only. Sounds all very exciting. There's some resolutions, diffuse bounces, auto bake. My goodness, those are all scary things. I've never looked into that. But since we have saved things, just save it again just in case, and go bake indirect lighting. See what happens. If it's like a 2-minute affair. The absence of status bar. Oh no, there we go. Bake lighting, there we go. Haha. See that at the very bottom here. Maybe that is where we would have seen a status bar before. Could that be with the keyframes? It could be that it's something. I don't see a major difference. Let me try this again. Baking lighting. Oh, and he's done already. Captain, yes, there is some updates that I have on the K4000 issue. This scene here is much smaller than the theater scene animation. And it looks like this scene fits comfortably into the K4000's RAM. So it doesn't exceed the RAM, unlike the other scene. So there's a thing where Blender is clever and says, hey, I'm going to fill up the GPU RAM as much as I can, but if I need more, then I'll just use regular RAM for that. That's like some kind of magic that's going on there. Seriously, it's magic. Usually that shouldn't really work, but Blender makes that possible. And and on the previous scene, that seems to have happened. And on this scene, it's not necessary, so everything fits into the GPU RAM, and Blender uses both GPUs and the CPU in tandem, all totally fine, and it doesn't have an issue. So the previous scene I've rendered entirely with this, like 20 frames or so, no problem at all, and then I decided to render it out in Eevee. So very interesting that. Right. Do you think this is enough to say bake indirect lighting? Is that enough, Marcos? It might well be. I mean, this is what I find fascinating is even if there are improvements to this, which I would welcome, I'm thinking, hey, this is good enough as a final product. I'm super happy about this. But it is definitely something we'll go and put on the shopping list for let's explore later. For now, I'm going to go let this render out. In fact, on my node with the 2K4000 cards. I'll see how long that takes in cycles. I'm going to do cycles and an Eevee pass in full HD. And I guess that is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me once again. Tomorrow will be a game stream. I don't think we'll do any 3D things tomorrow, unless, of course, I feel up for it. I don't know yet. But we'll definitely review this scene. I hope I can render both of these overnight, and then we'll finish off the Superliminal game there tomorrow. That's the plan. My friends, have a wonderful night, and I will see you, of course, tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, and here's that wonderful animation I was talking about.